Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
As the end of summer approaches, football season kicks off.
A new study about the effects of concussions and head injuries in football players is raising concerns for parents and even some former football players.
Valley News Team's Molly Casey has more.
Come on now, come on now, come on now. Good.
Young athletes train to be strong and agile and to never ignore an injury, but some injuries aren't easily seen. A new study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association revealed that of 202 players studied after death, 177 had some degree of chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE.
It's nerve-wracking to an extent.
Cole Jarek played football for years, including as a defensive end at NDSU, and says he suffered multiple concussions during his career and still feels the effects.
I've taken some major hits. I maybe have a little bit less memory for a little memory loss to an extent.
Today, Jarek trains young athletes, and while he tries to instill in them to play safe, football is intrinsically a rough sport.
There's not really a way to avoid that in extent in football. I mean, if there was, it'd be great.
Little is known about CTE, and it can't be diagnosed until after a player dies. Yet in some instances, the effects can be seen.
Those extreme cases where those guys go completely berserk and whatnot, you never want that to happen to you or any of your friends.
Jarek says he wouldn't change his time playing football despite the slight memory loss, but hopes enforcement of concussion protocols and future research will help ease the harsh nature of CTE. From Fargo, Molly Casey, Valley News Live.
Of the players examined during the study, 111 were NFL players. 110 of those players were found to have suffered from CTE.
One person was killed, 7 others hurt when a ride at the Ohio State Fair malfunctioned today. 5 of the injured are listed in critical condition tonight. The governor of Ohio ordered all fair rides shut down until additional safety inspections can be completed. He also ordered a full investigation into the incident. Officials identified the ride as the Fireball and say an entire row of seats snapped off the ride while it was moving. Today was the first day of the 12-day fair.
A North Dakota man is dead and another facing charges after a DUI crash in Walsh County. 55-year-old Michael Kubel of Langdon passed away yesterday after the crash on Highway 81 in Grafton last week. A passenger, 54-year-old Franna Kubel from Langdon, was hurt but has since been released from the hospital. The Highway Patrol says 43-year-old Brian Bjerknes of Cavalier ran into the back of Kubel's vehicle, pushing it off the road before it rolled. Bjerknes was charged with DUI, and court documents say he's now facing a felony terrorizing charge as well.
The woman caught in this viral video yelling at multiple Somali American women in a Fargo parking lot has been fired from her job as an accountant. Last night, Amber Hensley was captured on camera saying, "We are going to kill all of you," referring to the Muslim people. The woman in the car said they were scared and called police. Hensley sent us a Facebook message apologizing, adding that one of the women swore at her too. A Concordia professor we spoke with today is hoping to facilitate a conversation between Hensley and the other women. Fargo police, meanwhile, continue to investigate.
The Minnesota Supreme Court has ruled against the Minnesota School of Business, or Globe University, today. And now the school may be taking the burden of student loan debt off the hands of many people. The Minnesota Attorney General's office is seeking to void loans from the 2 schools that were issued after January 1st, 2009. A statement from the AG's office says that the schools, quote, issued thousands of illegal loans to Minnesota students, stemming from a lack of a state license and unlawful interest rates as high as 18%. They believe as many as 6,000 students are believed to be impacted.
There are students who no doubt are, under payment plans, and they might be in the middle of it, and they're wondering what to do. Should they keep sending checks or not? So we're trying to get the school's agreement that no, they don't have to keep sending checks.
It's not clear until a ruling is made whether those on the hook for loans will still have to pay, but the Minnesota Attorney General is pressing to stop collections.
President Donald Trump fired off several tweets today declaring a ban on transgender troops serving in the military.
The details are sparse at this point, but the impact hits home to a captain in the Minnesota Army National Guard. Reporter Zach Lashway has more.
Just off the plane this afternoon, Well, this morning we were out doing our annual training at Joint Base Lewis McChord in Washington.
Terrence Robertson, home from his annual 2-week training.
It seems surreal because just a few days ago I was talking about being trans and open in the military.
A combat veteran who did one tour in Afghanistan from 2011 to 2012. This September, Terrence will celebrate 12 years with the Minnesota Army National Guard.
I've fought for all of the things that we stand here today that we're talking about, and yet now to think of a future in which I might not be allowed to serve in the military, I don't even know what that means yet.
The president's tweets becoming personal for Terrence, calling the words offensive and painful.
How can somebody think of people that sacrifice everything in their life as a burden? I don't understand that at all. I've given up so much in my life to be a contributing member of the military, and I'm very, very good at my job. I'm a very good soldier.
His wife, Julia, sharing his concern.
If we have Americans that want to serve, regardless of their identity, of who they are, their sexual orientation, they should be able to serve.
I think we remain some of the most feared and hated individuals just for being transgender, because it's something that's completely misunderstood and anger gets misdirected.
A constant throughout Terrence's 12 years in the military, his clothing.
I can't imagine a life without being able to wear the uniform every day.
As time passes, with no official word on what happens next,
maybe this won't come to fruition.
Terrence remains optimistic and hopeful.
And I always will do my job extremely well, so long as I'm allowed to serve in the military.
On Capitol Hill, Arizona Senator John McCain, chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, rejected the new policy, stating anyone who meets current medical and readiness standards should be allowed to continue serving.
Tens of thousands of people are gearing up for the 35th annual WeFest Country Music Festival at the Sioux Pass Ranch. This year, those driving along Highway 10 to get there will be challenged by road work along Highway 10 and Highway 59. Drivers should expect delays and leave early. The Highway 10 eastbound shoulder is open for cars to take Highway 59, and that is just after the lane shift near DOT headquarters. You can use an alternate route, but DOT spokesperson says there isn't many different routes to take from the FM area.
Because there are so many lakes in this area, there aren't a lot of alternate routes. There are a few county roads, or Highway 34, I-94 to Highway 34 and 59. That's probably a key one that I would recommend if people want an alternate route.
And there's more construction. There's the Highway 10 Glendon project. Eastbound traffic is still down to one lane, so anticipate delays there as well.
And the Becker County Sheriff's Department is preparing to be at WeFest as well. Each year, they have a command center there and respond to criminal and traffic matters. The sheriff says they often respond to disorderly conducts, assaults, and thefts. We also spoke with WeFest coordinators today, and they want to remind everyone about a big change this year for campers. The campgrounds will no longer be open overnight, and campers should arrive prior to 10 p.m. to check into their spots.
Mod Squad, it's a new program aimed at saving our furry friends. It's a behavioral modification program for dogs. The program started in Wisconsin, and the shelter in Bemidji has picked it up. Dogs that are aggressive or might seem difficult to adopt are slowly trained by a volunteer member of the Mod Squad.
Yep, I've worked with about 30 of them, and it is unbelievable the change, sometimes even within a week, just getting that extra attention.
The program is working. Since Bemidji started it there 3 years ago, 91% of the dogs have been adopted.
A 40-year landmark in the Fargo community is getting a fresh coat of paint. The Red River Dance and Performing Arts Company hosted an open house to celebrate their grand reopening. The company is expanding to 5 studios to keep class sizes small and accommodate more students. Instructors hope they can give their students a second home where they can build confidence and learn in a safe environment.
To teach, they come here energized, they get me energized, and remind me every day that dance can change lives.
Classes will start up again on August 28th for the fall session.